breakups can be difficult and emotional. It can feel like the world is crashing down around you, leaving you feeling lost and alone. You may find yourself struggling to make sense of what happened, why it happened, and how to move on with your life. The pain can seem unbearable at times, making it hard to focus on anything else. We will discuss practical strategies for getting through a breakup and moving forward in life. We'll cover topics such as understanding why it happened, being kind to yourself in the aftermath, seeking support from friends and family, taking care of your body and mind, learning from the experience, and helpful tips to cope with the pain. The first step to getting over a breakup is to understand the reasons why it happened. While the person who initiated the breakup may have a different perspective, it is important that you take the time to review your own feelings and gain insight into why you believe the relationship ended. There are a variety of possible explanations, such as differences in values or incompatibility. Gaining an understanding of these factors can help you make sense of what happened and feel less powerless over the situation. Allow yourself time to grieve. After a breakup, it's important to allow yourself time to grieve and process your emotions. This can be a difficult and emotional process, and it's important to give yourself space to feel and deal with your feelings. It's okay to feel sad, angry, or confused after a breakup, and it's important to allow yourself to feel and express these emotions. Don't try to rush the process or suppress your feelings. Doing so can lead to unhealthy coping mechanisms and may prolong the healing process. It's natural to want to move on as quickly as possible after a breakup, but it's important to allow yourself time to heal. It's okay to take things one day at a time and to give yourself the time you need to heal and move on. Cut off contact, at least for a while. After a breakup, it can be helpful to take a break from communication with your ex. It can be difficult to move on and heal when you're still in contact with your ex, as it may bring up old feelings and memories. By cutting off contact, at least for a while, you can give yourself space to focus on yourself and your own healing. It's okay to take a break from social media, phone calls, and text messages to give yourself some space. This can also help you gain some clarity and perspective on the relationship and your feelings. Find healthy ways to cope. After a breakup, it's important to find healthy ways to cope with your emotions. This can help you work through your feelings in a productive and positive way, and it can also help you move on in a healthy way. Here are a few strategies for finding healthy ways to cope. Engage in activities that nourish your mind and body. Being kind to oneself in the aftermath of a breakup is essential. It can be difficult to recognize and appreciate one's own worth during such a difficult time, but it is important to remember that one's self-worth should never be dependent on any other person. Taking steps to practice self-care, such as engaging in activities that nourish your mind and body, can help to boost your self-esteem and provide a sense of comfort. This could mean going to the gym, spending time with friends and family, or doing something you enjoy. Seek support from friends and loved ones. If you're having trouble dealing with your feelings after a breakup, talking to trusted friends and family members about it can help. It can be a great relief to be able to confide in someone and receive sympathetic listening and reassuring words. Additionally, they may provide insight and help you view things from a new angle. Remember, you are not alone. Having them around might be a great help in providing solace and fortitude during this trying period. Overall, it's important to find healthy ways to cope with your emotions after a breakup. This can help you work through your feelings in a positive and productive way and move on in a healthy way. Here are a few things you may want to avoid doing after a breakup. Avoid jumping into a new relationship too quickly. It's important to take time to heal and process your emotions after a breakup before jumping into a new relationship. Rushing into a new relationship can lead to emotional complications and may not be healthy for either party involved. Avoid isolating yourself. It can be tempting to want to be alone after a breakup, but like we said earlier, it's important to continue to engage in social activities and spend time with friends and loved ones. Isolating yourself can lead to feelings of loneliness and may prolong the healing process. Avoid unhealthy coping mechanisms. It's important to find healthy ways to cope with your emotions after a breakup. Don't try to deal with your feelings by doing things that are bad for you, like drinking too much. These actions might make you feel better in the short term, but they can make things worse in the long run. Avoid ruminating on the past. It's natural to want to reflect on the relationship and what went wrong, but it's important to focus on the present and the future. Getting stuck in the past can stop you from moving on and make it take longer to get better. Overall, it's important to take care of yourself and find healthy ways to cope with your emotions after a breakup. Look to the future. After a breakup, it can be helpful to look towards the future and focus on building a positive and fulfilling life for yourself. It's okay to take some time to reflect on the relationship and what you learned from it, but it's also important to move forward and focus on creating a life that brings you happiness and fulfillment. Reflecting is not the same as ruminating. Reflecting and ruminating are two different processes that can have different effects on your emotional well-being. Reflecting involves thoughtfully considering and reviewing an experience or situation. It involves looking back on what happened and trying to understand it in a deeper way. Reflecting can be a helpful way to gain insight and perspective and can help you learn from your experiences. On the other hand, ruminating is when you think about an event or situation over and over again in a negative or obsessive way. It often means thinking and feeling bad things over and over again, which can make you feel worse and worse. Focus on the new type of life you want. It's also important to move forward and focus on building a positive and fulfilling life for yourself. This might involve setting goals, pursuing hobbies and activities that bring you joy, and building a supportive network of friends and loved ones. Focusing on the future and building a positive and fulfilling life can help you move on from the breakup in a healthy way. Breakups can be challenging, and moving on is a journey all by itself. However, it's important to take care of yourself and find healthy ways to cope with your emotions. Talking to trusted friends and family members, avoiding unhealthy coping mechanisms like excessive alcohol consumption, looking towards the future instead of ruminating on the past, and focusing on creating a life that brings you happiness are all effective strategies for getting over a breakup. With patience, self-care, and support from those around you, it is possible to move through this painful period in a healthy way. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you all next time.